Hi, Ruby. Nice to see you sent us a new set of essays. Let's see what you've done here. Please remember that it's really important when you do task one and task two, actually, to include the image, to include the task in your answer. So really just copy and paste it and include it here because I really like to use the image in my corrections, okay? So just keep that in mind for future essays that you sent us. Let's get straight to this. The bar chart shows the sales of two different types of shoes across European countries in 2018. How many European countries? That's a good piece of information to include here. As the chart shows, sales of brown leather shoes exceeded 100,000 pairs in Poland, Germany, Hungary, and Italy, amounting to, okay, you're missing a zero here. Be careful. Conversely, there was a noticeable decline in Belgium with sales falling to just 5,000 pairs. Additionally, the sales in France, the UK, Ireland, and Holland were relatively consistent, falling within the range of 80,000 to 100,000 pairs. Okay. Um, the first thing that I want to mention is vocabulary. There's no falling here. There's no increasing. There's no falling. This is what we call a static bar chart. And it's static because there's no change over time. It's just how many shoes were sold that entire year. So we don't know if they increased in March and decreased in July. We don't have any of that. So it's literally a snapshot, like a photograph of that year. Okay, so you don't want to talk about a noticeable decline. Instead, you want to use a language of comparison. So you could have said, conversely, sales in Belgium were notably much lower. Okay, so the language of comparison is what you're going to have to use when you do a static chart like this. And again, sales did not fall. They were at, so sales were far lower at 5,000 pairs. Okay. Let's continue. Sales of black shoes reached its peak. Again, reached its peak. It implies movement. There's no movement here. And then it's also not its because it's sales, plural. Okay. So sales of black shoes were highest in Hungary. See, language of comparison, with a total of 145,000 pairs. In stark contrast, great vocabulary word, to France, which only sold 30,000 pairs. Italy, Belgium, and the UK followed closely with sales of 125. Sales in Germany and Ireland were comparatively similar at 75, followed by Poland. Okay, great. Overall, black shoes experienced, not our experience, experienced the highest sales in Hungary and Italy, contrasting sharply with the situation in France and Holland, where demand was noticeably lower. In particular, France exhibited a markedly lower demand for black shoes. All right, you don't need to say that. Meanwhile, the sales patterns in the countries, okay, showed moderate figures. All right. So, I want to tell you a few things about this essay. I've been waiting. I want to read the whole thing. This isn't really an overview, okay? An overview, it's too much for an overview. It should be 1 to 2 sentences, all right? Not an entire, this is just as long as your details. So this isn't what you wanted to do. You should have said, yes, that France had the highest sales of X. I don't even remember because you didn't include this, but you could have said Hungary had the highest sales of black shoes, and gosh, let me see, Poland had the highest sales of brown. Okay, so you could have said something like that, and that would have been enough. Or maybe you could have said something else like, while sales varied for both colors in all countries, Poland had the highest sales of brown, and Hungary had the highest sales of black. All right, and that's also okay. So that's what an overview should look like. I'm always a big fan of the overview coming directly after this. Yeah, I like it to come directly after the introduction. Does it change your score? No, not really, but it does make it flow a lot more. It's let me see how I can explain this. The overview is not supposed to be a conclusion exactly. It's supposed to really just give the main point, and just cover like what they're going to see in further detail. All right. So that's how I would have done it. Let's see. Let's see your word count because this actually felt like quite a few words too. Yeah, you were 206. So you could have reasonably like shortened this, like this much. You could have left some of that out and you still would have been at like 180 words. So that would have been a good idea for me. All right, so let's take a look at your task 2 now. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated the increasing prevalence of fast food. Increasing prevalence of fast food's impact on individuals and families. Okay. This essay will argue that the dominance of fast food has a predominantly negative effect, primarily due to health concerns and the erosion of cultural and family traditions. Okay, I liked your last sentence. This troubled me a little bit. The increasing prevalence of fast food's impact is an awkward expression. It doesn't really say what I think you're trying to say. It's not the prevalence, it's the increasing impact. So not the prevalence of its impact, but the increasing severity of the impact. You could have said that. So severity would have been a good word here. Let's try it. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated the increasing severity of fast food's impact. It's still maybe not great. Or how about the increasing impact of fast food? Perfect. I mean, so it's too wordy. You just need to reduce some of those words and it's much better. Okay. Now, you focused here on individuals and families. The essay has also told you to talk about society. So I'm very curious to see how you're going to do that. You probably should have mentioned society somewhere in the introduction as well. Let's see what you wrote. There's ample evidence that fast food offers some benefits such as convenience and affordability, which are significant in the fast-paced lifestyle. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, for many families and individuals, especially those in urban settings, fast food provides a quick, economical solution for daily meals. Not in. If in sounds weird to me. Secondly, fast food offers a variety of choices catering to different appetites and dietary preferences. For example, a recent empirical study by the FDA demonstrates over 80% of individuals opt for fast food during work days, particularly when faced with demanding schedules. The primary reason for this preference is that fast food alleviates concerns about the time and energy to prepare a conventional meal. Nonetheless, it is crucial to recognize that, despite the health implications associated with fast food, its role as a swift and cost effective option for daily meals remains significant. Okay, good grammar. I liked it. We're going to talk about task achievement, though. Okay, let me get through your second body paragraph and we'll talk more about task achievement in this essay. Although the convenience and cost effectiveness of fast food are notable, the significance of its health implications cannot be overstated. It is largely because these meals are typically characterized by high levels of calories, fats, and sugars, yet they lack essential nutrients. The widespread consumption of fast food has been linked to a range of health issues, including obesity, heart diseases, and diabetes. For example, an extensive study by Oxford University revealed that over 20% of people had experienced obesity. You don't really experience obesity, you develop obesity or you become obese. The convenience and addictive taste of fast food often overshadow the importance of a balanced diet, leading to long-term health complications. Okay. All right. Why do you have another paragraph here? You really didn't need it. It's already very long, so I'm not sure why you would have done that. Let's see. Additionally, the rise of fast food undermines cultural traditions and family dynamics. Traditional cuisines, integral to cultural identity and heritage, are not merely about sustenance. You don't need this they, because this is your subject, traditional cuisines. Are not merely about sustenance, but also involve the sharing of recipes and techniques passed down through generations. The shift towards fast food disrupts this transfer of culinary knowledge, risking the loss of diversity in food. For instance, a recent study by Harvard indicated that over 50% of university students were unable to cook a traditional meal passed down from their families. This finding highlights a significant break in the transmission of family culinary traditions. What great words! I love it. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that the growing dominance of fast food over traditional food is having harmful impacts on families, individuals, and societies. Okay, let's keep going. From the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that although fast food offers considerable convenience in our daily lives, its negative consequences are substantial. These include detrimental effects on our physical well-being and the erosion of family heritage. It is predicted that government regulations and policies will increasingly emphasize stricter controls in this industry. Okay. So the good news is that the language is fabulous. The grammar, the vocabulary has a really nice, precise vocabulary, which I absolutely love. I have some concerns though about task achievement. So that's what I want to focus on. It's really well written. I already said that, but I want to talk about this. So first of all, traditional foods are being replaced. This has a negative impact on families, individuals, and society. Okay. Now, the dominance of fast food has a predominantly negative effect. So it asks you, to which extent do you agree or disagree? You know what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to tell you that you did not need this paragraph at all. You could have completely gotten rid of it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it doesn't ask you to talk about both sides. It asks you, to what extent do you agree or disagree with the argument? Okay? Um, and I think that without this paragraph, which was on its own 142 words, you could have probably written this in much less time. What did I just say? 142? Hold on a second. Let me see how big this essay was. Right. So the essay was 477 words. Really long. Please tell me how long this took you, because I'm going to be shocked if you said it took you 40 minutes. So the whole essay was 477 words, and that one paragraph was like, what did I say, 142? Even without it, you were at 330 words. Okay. So, in terms of time, you need to get rid of it. But that's not why I'm telling you to get rid of it. I'm telling you to get rid of it for what I said before. It asks, to what extent do you agree or disagree with this negative effect? So there is no reason for you to talk about the positive effects here, especially when you've said that you're going to talk about the predominantly negative effect. So this whole paragraph was absolutely irrelevant. They didn't ask you to talk about it here. Okay. You didn't tell us you were going to talk about it here. I mean, if you had told us you were going to talk about it, then it might have been okay. But you didn't even tell us that. You said that it's predominantly negative. Okay. And then you even told us why: health concerns and erosion of cultural traditions. So this paragraph really should have been left out. And then you would have had two paragraphs that absolutely correspond to what you wrote in your introduction. Okay, the health concerns. Here it is, health implications. Okay, it's super clear. And then the cultural traditions. So that's what you needed to do in order for this to be a really well written task too. Okay, it has to follow the question, and then the essay that follows needs to also follow what you've written in your introduction. Okay, so they all have to be like in the same vein. They all have to coordinate, if that makes sense. Okay. So that's what I wanted to see different. I loved the language. I thought you did really well. But again, I am concerned about how much time this is taking you, because you've been writing so much. So go ahead and correct these. Let's see more work from you. And let me know if you have any questions about the comments in this correction. Okay. Best of luck to you.